Man, I went buck wild on a cheat day today, and it's kind of my point. Have you ever. Now, this is one mistake a lot of people do, is they'll get in the deficit and they'll kill their diet and they'll starve themselves through the week, and then when it's time to like really just take a break from it, mental break, they take a whole cheat day, and you don't realize it when you're doing it, man. You'll consume upwards. I think I probably consumed about probably about 3,500 calories today, and not good, man. Captain Crunch. Then I couldn't just eat one bowl of it. I had to eat a whole another bowl, and then I ate two double quarter pounders from McDonald's, which is actually a good choice. The meat, and if you take the bun off, you got a low carb meal. It's not a bad. If you're gonna eat anything, and if you're bulking, get you a double quarter pounder with cheese. It's a good source of protein. And I heard who I got that from Dr. Jim Stefani, who's jacked and he knows his shit. I like him a lot. But you see, the problem is that you get, and I'll check all my boxes, and I'll get right with the protein, and I'll be right with, the slow digesting carbs and everything. And I like intermittent fasting, because you can just really actually just do that and be loose as hell on your diet, and you can get away with it if you got good genetics. You see, I'm getting my diet dialed in. I've been watching that Sam Sulek dude, and he goes to failure and everything, but he obviously it's working. He's growing. He's on anabolics. Come on, okay? People need to know what they're looking at him, okay? The dude's not natural. He's not a natural bodybuilder. Come on, dude. Come on, I saw his transformation, and if everybody's been talking about it. But you see, with him, he's going to failure. He's training to failure. He's putting in those calories. He's getting his sleep. And he's doing like a lot of the selection of exercises. He's doing them ass backwards. I mean, if you're pre-exhausting that, but I don't see why you would. I mean, I do know why, because pre-exhaust works, and it's great for muscle growth. But he's doing like yeah, I can see doing the hamstrings curls before you do Romanian deadlifts. But why are you doing hamstrings before you even do your quads, man? It's not like he's got some nice legs, but it's not like his quads are 10 times more. Always train your quads, but I mean, now, they say that about arms too. Like, before back, you do biceps after. It's an unspoken rule of multi-joint first, but you want to get bigger arms, you train the arms first. Maybe warm them up with some maybe do some back, and warm up the arms before curls. Maybe do some pull-ups first, some chin-ups first. But don't be looking at that dude and thinking he's not, because he's on. Come on, man, you don't have to do it natty or not. I mean, I guess okay. Let's do it natty or not. He's 21. Let's look at all the variables. His diet, he's putting in a calorie surplus, and he's getting in the calories. Now he's chugging chocolate milk, and he's fucking eating at Five Guys, and I just had a cheat day, so I'm doing that too. so I can't really hate on it. And I did that. It, before I even knew this guy, I was doing that when I was in jail. I was eating honey buns, and it worked. That's the thing. And I packed on about 40 plus pounds in jail, and that's without weights. And I was doing that with body weight shit, and just I was in a massive surplus of honey buns and swoles and anything I could get my hands on. I was eating it, and I grew, and at a rate that if I would have done that on the outside, you would have said I was on steroids. But I'm in jail, okay? Let me tell you, maybe prison. You can get anything you want in prison. Not in local jail. They're not risking their life to smuggling performance enhancing drugs. Now, he's been on the outside and he's eating. He's training to failure. Okay, he's stimulating his muscles and he's damaging them and he's growing. But he's also on the outside and he's packed on a lot of like dense muscle. And he's always like, you gotta watch him too, man. He's going, fucking, his GI tract is fucked. And I saw what he ate. Okay, what he ate prior might tell you a lot. Why he did his carbs like that post-workout. And honestly, I think he's running. I know because of what he did, the way he did it in that amount, he's running insulin at a minimum. I know that he is. He's running insulin because I don't know how to describe it. I've never ran insulin, but the way he was talking, and the way he did it and counted him on that tells me he's running insulin. So if he's running insulin, man, come on, I doubt there isn't anything he isn't running. He's trying to get big, and he's doing it. And he's kind of an inspirational guy because he gets the audience to root for him. Because, man, I'll look at it and I'll hear him talk, and I'm like, at first I'll hear this curly-headed looking weirdo, and I'm like, man, who is this dork? And then I was like, no, he genuinely loves to work out. He genuinely loves this gain process. And he loves the pump. He loves to work out. All these things are great qualities to have if you're going to get bigger. And if you're going to enjoy what you're doing. And then, I want other people to realize that you're not getting these results. And you're natural because you're not putting in the work he is. He's putting in that work, but he's also he's also pressing some heavy weight, some impressive weight to be 21 years old and doing that. But I would say his form is, he doesn't go all the way down to that deep stretch, and a lot of the things he needs to just say fuck it for the weight and just start just hitting that pump chase, because the muscle doesn't know how much weight it's pushing. It just knows that it just knows that every little inch in the process of, like, if you're at the bottom at the chest where he wasn't really going all the way down, that's the most important, if not more important than all the other range of motion, is at the bottom. I don't have a big chest, but what chest I do have, I got from going deep. And the same as on a push-up, and the bottom is most important. And I see him fucking hitting, and if he had somebody else to program his workout, and he just goes in there and he just says, all right, well, how am I going to fucking destroy this muscle today? That's a great method. it's how you want to do it. You don't feel that muscle the next day. You didn't work. It's not going to grow bigger. You don't have them DOMs. You're not going to get it. So you need them delayed onset muscle soreness. And what I was saying, like, is the exercise order, like, if you're going to do pre-exhaust, pre-exhaust the hamstring, maybe that's so he can feel it more on Romanian deadlifts. I get that, and that's pre-exhaust, and that's how you train the hamstring. If you want to pre-exhaust, you do curl spurs, then you do Romanian deadlifts. But I saw him do this with back too. He was doing pull downs, straight arm pull downs before he was doing this pulling shit, and he was just repping it out. And I don't know if he was describing it so he could feel it more. Yes, I get it. You feel it more when you're doing the other ones that have multiple joints, like a row or a pull down, or you're using the elbow end. But you're just isolating that part of the lat, and you're hitting so much more of the back on those. And you just, for me, I like to go in fresh. But you see, pre-exhaust has been proven, even though they didn't know it, they proved it. It's what it says, it's pre-exhaust. So they were like, all right, when they looked at it and they saw them, I guess, I don't know what, muscle, but they were talking about it. They did, like a single joint, like a cable fly before they did an incline bench press. Is the way I would do it, because then you take away. Okay, and it showed that it wasn't activating the muscle as much as you do when you do it first. So it wasn't activating. Well, what that tells you is that the muscle got pre-exhausted, and the muscle that's pre-exhausted isn't going to give as much. So they kind of proved the pre-exhaust works, but when they were talking about it, they said it did. But there's a reason why bodybuilders use that. You get another benefit of that, I think. When you pre-exhaust, you don't use as much weight on the heavier weights. So if you're pre-exhaust and you're doing pec deck or flies before you do your flat bench, you're not going to be able to use as much weight. So therefore, your risk of injury, maybe, I don't know that, but that's one way I like to look at it, is that it doesn't give you as much risk of injury with the heavy amounts of weight. And you just feel it. When you do a pre-exhaust, you're failing because of the muscle you want, not the shoulders and traps and triceps when you're doing a bench press after you do flies. You're failing because your chest is done. And that's the point. So I don't care how strong you're not going to be able to press that much weight. But I just see him just come in and just say, all right, well, I'm going to do this. But you get so much more when you select ahead of time and you and I do like his use, and that's things he's using. He's using rest pause techniques, which is where you reach failure, rest 15, 20 seconds, do a couple more at the same weight, and rep the failures again, rep till failure again. Then he'll throw in a drop set. That's when you reduce the weight about 25%, and you continue. You want to talk about smart for muscle growth. That's how you do it. You go to failure, and then you go beyond. And I see him doing 4 reps with the spotter, and I see him doing curls, and then grabbing his arm when he can't do it up here no more, and then lets it drop. When the negative part, that's so smart. So then you look at him and you're like, okay, he's fucking nailing this shit. He's doing it. He won me over because I saw this guy and his dork. I was just like, man, what is this dweeb with this weird hair? And he's kind of, it just looks, his face, he just looks like a weirdo. And I was just like, man. But then I saw his passion And I saw it. I saw he's passionate about what he's doing. I saw he loves that pump, and he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't realize this, but he's describing. I'll finish this.